Yes, your eyes are not playing tricks on you. Poulan Pro 655. This is a saw for Justin Weaver. This is a saw that Ben had, and he sold it for a really good price, actually. You guys would die if you knew how much this saw went for. But anyway, this is the saw that we're going to put together for Justin. This is my actual first build for another person, so I've been trying to cover all my bases. I did order a, um, a gasket kit for it, seals. I mean, you can get all this stuff on eBay just for this particular saw. One thing about it though, this one has new crank seals in it, so I'm just covering my bases. So I didn't want to go and say, yeah, man, I know that it's a good one. So this is where we're at right now. Does have a really good cylinder. It's not bad at all. There's no scoring, nothing like that. It just needs cleaned up just a tiny bit. Got a brand new piston, actually. Ben said this thing had low compression, so I was starting to think like, you know, why would this have low compression? So the only thing I can actually think of that would make this thing have low compression is the actual rings on this piston. So he had this in a box sitting next to the saw, so I figured he was going to put this in the saw. So he said, here, take this, it goes with the saw. I have everything here to build it with, except for a few pieces that I've already ordered for the saw, and we're going to put it together whenever they do come in. But this is the start to this build. I've already cleaned some of the parts because they were really dirty. I did find an exhaust for this thing, but you will never believe how much an exhaust really costs for these saws. Anything from P50, P51, a P60, P62, P65. It's basically the same chassis. It's the same crankcase. But the only thing different is the crank and the piston. You just got a bigger piston and keeps stepping up in the bore size. But what I did is I bought all the parts from Ben that he had for the Pioneers. So the exhaust that I have for this saw is this one right here. And yes, there's a gigantic hole right here, and I try to straighten it out as much as I possibly could. And I cleaned it up. I got all the gunky, nasty stuff off of it. I scraped it. Even took a wire brush to it. Yeah, it's a gasket, but I'm not using that gasket. I'm going to take that one off. Actually, with one of the kits, it comes with a gasket. If you guys know anything about the 655, it does have a manual order up here by the handle like this. So while you're holding it, you can push your oil. This thing was really not in that bad of shape. It just needed cleaned pretty good. One thing that I actually like about this saw is the top cover for the carburetor. It says Poulan, well, it would say Poulan Pro right here, but it does have the warning label and stuff like that on it. And I guess right here in this little area, it probably said Poulan Pro 655 right there. But I've never actually seen another 655, so I really honestly don't know. Here's the clutch cover. This one has this is the one for the clutch assembly. It's missing the actual band and the brake handle. But Justin said he wasn't worried about that. And I was like, okay, man, I'll just clean it and put it together. So basically, that's what I'm going to be doing. To everybody out there that wants to know what kind of coil that you can adapt to this saw, these right here on your cylinder, right by your decompression valve, these two bolts right here bolt your coil on. and it's an eyeball coil. It kind of looks like a Husqvarna 51 or a 55 coil. It honestly does, because I do have one here. I can show it to you. Right here. So when you bolt this on, it kind of looks like that. If you look at it, it's got that little dip right here in the shape. Right there. So you could possibly use a Husqvarna coil, a 51 or a 55, to put on this cylinder to get your spark. But what I did was I did a lot of research, and I found out that the Poulan 3400, the countervibe one, will actually bolt right on this cylinder. And this is for the 655, the Pioneer P60 cylinders, because I told Aaron the same thing, and I showed him the parts for that build that I had. Well, I was going to build it, but I showed it to him, and I told him the same thing. I said I honestly think that would work, but then I found the knockoff version, which is the Poulan series. If you buy chainsaw parts, you know what Poulan actually is. They have coils that look just like this, and it was for a countervibe 3700, and it looked just like the coil. And I kept looking at it, and I was like, I bet you that's the same exact coil. So I ordered one for this build. If it doesn't work, I'll order one for a 55, because this is a 55. No, actually, this is a 51. But it will fit right on there. But the only thing that I don't really like the way it bolts on there is that the bolt holes are a little bit, tiny bit off. So I would have to modify this to fit on this. And I don't really want to cut that, because it takes away from the actual spark of the coil. But the only thing I know I could actually do is build plates, like customize it so it would fit. But man, if that ain't real close at all. I mean, it's really close. The only thing is, the bolt holes are off just a tiny bit. I could possibly take my Dremel and Dremel out the holes front to back and tighten it down. I know it would work, because I did it to another one. Yeah. So let me put this down. I do know that these are really good chainsaws, and they're popular, and they're really expensive. If you find one in really nice shape, you'll probably pay $800 for it. This one was dirty. The only thing wrong with it is just dirty. So I've already cleaned some of the parts. I have a Walbro carburetor. This one came off of I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this came off of a McCulloch, because it looks like the big Walbros, the SDC Walbros. And I know for a fact that this one actually worked, because it's got the fuel outlet that goes up and over like that. The good thing about buying the gasket set, it comes with all the little gaskets that you actually need. So, and through all those parts that I bought, I'm gonna show you what I have left. Okay. One of these is a P51, and the other one is a P60. I don't mind those coils. They won't work on anything, honestly. Right there is a P50 and a P51 cylinder, but that piston will go in each one of those. Top cover, P50, another P50. Clutch cover, top handle for the P60, and the lower bracket for whichever saw. I don't really know which one it is. This is the bottom piece to the muffler, which is not in It's not in a bad shape. It looks like it is, but it's really not. The 2-piece guides for your the inside of your your clutch cover. But look at all the parts I have. These are actually in really good shape. And yes, I'll probably sell some of these if anybody is interested in these. One thing to note: the P51 does have a decompression valve, just like the P60. Just so you'll know, right here is the P51. Right there is where your decomp goes in. So yeah, these are the parts that I have. Let's see which one this is. Oh, that's the P60. The other one's the 51. This one has the crank in it, so I'll probably end up building that one. But I'm going to have to find me a P60 cylinder and piston. I know this is a long video, and I do apologize for that. I've been gone for a week, so I've been thinking about what I want to do in the afternoons while I'm at home. The good thing is I got a job to where I can work close to home, and I can come home every evening and spend a few hours working on stuff. So that's the good part. But Justin, Bubby, I know that you're gonna love this saw because it's in awesome shape. I know that this is gonna be a beast for what you do. That could be the reason why there's no compression. The top of the piston is like nasty looking. And it's black as can be. It was probably getting ready to blow up. That's a good thing to whoever owned this, they just stopped running it. Well, Justin, Buddy, I hope this is what you're really wanting, because this is going to be an awesome build once I get all the parts in and start going from there. Main thing with these saws is the coils. If you've got a spark for these things, you got an awesome saw. But the P50s and the 51s have the really big white coil, and it even comes on a Homelite 410. So, and they're not cheap. The cheapest one I found was like $85. So that's a lot of money for a coil. But I have heard that somebody on YouTube here has took a 372, 365 coil and modified it to actually fit to work on the P50 series. So, yeah. Yeah. Till the next video, you guys have a wonderful day.